Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday and happy Creative Challenge, Adobe Illustrator. Today is going to be about type. We're still designing a poster, but we're going to oomph it up a lot. Oomph is part of my vocabulary, so is pizzazz. Let's have fun. I see right now Patrick, Voodoo Val, Carol, Alejandro, Jack, Katerina. We are a creative bunch just working on this creative challenge. It's going to be so much fun. All right, so let's switch to my monitor and I'm going to walk you through a little bit what we're going to be doing. So we're going to do some 3D pattern type. Whew, that was a mouthful. But essentially, now that we can inflate the letters, there's so much cool stuff that we can do. I've seen a lot of 3D shapes in Illustrator, but I've not seen a lot with patterns. So we're going to be combining those two together. So I believe the files are being uploaded to the link down the description. So feel free to download that in order to work alongside me. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. And this is going to be fun. So you will be getting this exact file here, except for the mini eyes. This is something that I have prepared for my pattern. We're going to be working with a quote. So Typography is what language looks like by Ellen Lupton. I made sure that for this month of March, all the quotes that we will be working with are from female designers because it is Women History Month. So why not have fun with that? All right, so first thing to design our posters will be to have a background. Very simple for this. We're just going to use the rectangle shape and then draw this shape on top of our canvas. And let's have just a different color for now. It does not really matter what color it is because we're probably going to end up changing it. And I'm going to lock that. I can do Command 2 in order to lock it. Now, I always do very messy like files whenever I'm working in Illustrator. So I'm going to duplicate this. In order to do this, you can either copy and paste, or you can always, I'm just going to delete that. Use the Option key if you're using a Mac and just glide, and that duplicates whatever shape or whatever you're doing in Illustrator. So here, I know that I want to be playing with small and big type for that one. And actually, I can show you an example of the poster that we will be working on today. So this is the final look that I'm trying to achieve. So clearly I've changed the color for the background for that one, but that's okay because we can always change that later. All right, so for this, I wanted to highlight a specific word. So I'm going to just take that out, and I think looks would be a great one to play with. So I'm going to just copy it, make it really big. And this is what I'm going to use to inflate. The key in order to have a nice 3D inflated shape or letter is the thickness. This font, which we are currently using, is Elsa Text, which is my favorite font in the whole Adobe font family. But you need something that is thick. So if we go here, you can actually browse for fonts in Adobe Fonts. It's already pre-selected, but if you do browse all, you can click on clean, and here with the font properties, you would select a thick weight. Something like this might work really well, like owner's text, and you have lots and lots of options. See, this is still too small, like something that is very thick. For me, I went with a font that I had bought previously, and it is called Big Sexy, like so. So I'm going to duplicate this because I always want to have something to go back to in case I mess up. That's why the exterior of my artboards gets mega messy. All right, Just going to bring that here. I want to now expand this. So in order to do this, you can either use the shortcuts on your keyboard, which for a Mac user would be Shift Command O to outline. Same thing with Control Shift O on a PC. Or if you want to use the menus, you can go to Object, Expand, and then make sure that Object and Fill is selected and you press OK. So now we have this that is no longer, so we can't edit the text anymore, which is why it's good to have that copy. Now, in order for the 3D effects to work well on this, it's not going to work on black. So we need to change the color of our word. Let's do something that we can truly see well. Let's do that bright pink right here. All right. And as you can see right now, my word is locked. Sorry, it's grouped. So I am going to go to Object and Ungroup in order for it to be all separate. All right. So this is where the magic happens. You can select a letter. I'm just going to go with the S here. And I'm going to Window, 3D and Materials. And here this menu is going to appear. If you have not used the 3D and Materials before, it's probably going to to pop up on top of everything. What I usually do is I bring it here, so then it's added into my working menu on the side. That's just something I do. And I change it so often depending on what I'm working on in the moment. So as you can see here, we have a lot of different options for the 3D type. The one that we will be looking at today is Inflate. So if you click here, you can already see that something has happened and everything is now 3D. So we're very happy with that. All right, so here we can play with the depth and we can just have fun with it. I technically like it the way it is, but I want to be going to the material because I really like when it's a glossy metallic effect. So here I usually go like all the way, like so. And as you can see, now our bright pink is now more of a purple just because with the lighting, as it's basically adding light, right? Like that's what it's giving, that 3D effect. So you have to take in consideration which colors you're using for this. All right, we can now technically select everything and use the eyedropper to do the same thing. Actually, just do inflate. It's not going to keep the same options that you have pre-selected for the S, but that's okay because you can always go back. Actually, I want the metallic. 84. Just going to make sure that this is 84 as well. Oh, it was 83. That was really good. Perfect. So now we have this, and I'm still going to keep it as just separate objects for now. Now, we have this. It's already looking pretty good. I'm just going to add it on top of our poster. See how quick that, I mean, it's so cool. If we add our text, just going to bring it at the front. It's already cool, but we're going to oomph it up just a little more. So there is like a big hype with pattern. I'm seeing a lot on social. I don't know if you have been seeing that as well, but we will be creating a pattern. And because this is the word looks, I think it would be cool to have eyes. So this is why I had pre-prepared a mini icon with some eyes. So I'm going to select this. Because I want the pattern to be small and it's being repeated a lot, I want to make it just a tad smaller, like so. I'm going to select this, go to Object, Pattern, Make. So here, just is equal. And this is looking, actually 0.5 is a little too much. I'm going to do 0.2. It's just because I'm working in inches right now. That's why it's like significant. If I was working in pixel, that would be different. But the reason why we're working in inches is because this is technically for a poster, which is going to go to print. And usually for printed materials, for me personally, I usually work in inches because it's easier to talk to the printer afterwards. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. So I am going to click done at the top right here. Oh, well, we have a massive good morning, everyone, from Los Angeles, from Miss Melanie. I can only like I heard that in my mind, like, good morning. I felt the same way too when I was waking up this morning. All right, so now we want to make sure that this pattern is working. So I'm going to create a shape, going to remove that color. And what is fun whenever we are creating a pattern is that it's automatically being added into the swatch panel. So here is the latest pattern. I could have named it, but I didn't. Oops, I double clicked on it. That's why I'm just going to hit cancel and see here. I have my shape and with the pattern. All right. So now you're like, okay, we have created a pattern. How do we put it on top? Okay, this is where the whole magic happens. And it is so fun. Okay, so here with your swatches, you can see you have brushes or you have symbols. So you can take this and just slide it and add it as a symbol. And I'm going to call it eyes, looks, because it is for those letters. I'm going to click OK. And as you can see, it was added right here. So now going back to the 3D and materials menu, which we have added on the side here, I click on materials because there's objects, materials, and lighting. If I go to materials, and then I click on graphics, as you can see, my symbols have been added. So now let's just click and see what happens. So when I click here, it's being added onto the letter. So fun. And what you can also play with is this kind of circle here if you want to make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so now it's doing some funny things because I double clicked and I had 2 layers of the same pattern. But let's see what it does here. I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to do the same for all the letters. For some reason, the O right now is not working. Let's do the K. There you go. That's working. The S, because the S already has a curve in it, it's kind of doing this funky thing with the pattern, but I'm not against it. I think it's super fun. Let's make it smaller, specifically here, like right here. I think it's fun. Let's try another pattern on here. I don't know why the O isn't working. Oh, it's here. There you go. If we make it smaller. There you go. Oh, not this one. Ooh. There you go. And you can go edit. That one is super funky, but I don't hate it. There you go. All right. So this is how you can add a pattern to 3D letters. So now the fact that we have created a pattern that didn't have a background, you can go here and then recolor your letters like so. See, you can make them blue. That would be more teal. So this is really fun, and then you can have a lot of fun with it. If you were to use a pattern that had a solid background, let me go and change the L for instance, like this one here. See, it would actually cover the full letter. This is actually a fun pattern that I have used generated, like I used AI for it, which was super cool. So I'm actually going to do this. So here, just to show you, going to create a square. Going to go to property, text to vector. Here, when you under type, you can go underneath and say pattern. This is some previous patterns I have done, but I'm going to do big, oops, big monster eyes. And then generate it. The fact that I have my shape selected right here is going to put the pattern right inside that shape. Voodoo Val saying, oh my God, I love it. Right? It's so fun. And I haven't seen a lot of people doing this so far. So that's why I feel like we're on the verge of something fun here. All right. So while we wait for this pattern to be generated, let me know if you are excited about using this in Illustrator. And this, I mean, we're using this for a poster right now, but it can be pretty much anything. It could be for social media. It could be for a brand. Okay, this is really fun. I think I like this one a lot. So again, same thing. If I go back to my symbols, I can basically just drag and drop this pattern. I'll call it monster eyes. And then if I go back to 3D and materials, I just need to make sure that in the properties I'm deleting, because it's acting as if it was layers. So that could be super fun to add textures and stuff like this. But for this, I would just delete it and then add the monster eyes, and look how fun that is. Keys is saying, oh no, we're singing right now. We're singing in the chat. How fun. Okay. So I'm just going to put this back, and then we're going to move to our poster design. So now that we have the star of the poster, just going to group that. So you can do Command G, bring it on top. And I think it would be fun to, oops, just like flip it around like so, just to make it a little different. And see, actually, as I'm making it bigger, the pattern are not necessarily following. So I would have to go back and just adjust it a little bit. Specifically for the S right here, I am really happy with the K and the L. Actually, it's really fun. Okay. So this, we have this here. And then I'm going to just have fun with the rest of this quote. So typography is what language, which is the first part of the quote. And I'm going to just break this down like so. Going to justify. It's rare that I justify some text to the right, because to me, it's not necessarily the best way for us to read, but I'm going to do it for this poster like so. And as you can see, because there was some spaces in between that quote, I have to go and remove them so it's a perfect line on the two lines right here. And now we're missing the like, so let's put that at the bottom. Just copy that quickly. Going to use the eyedropper to use the same editing for the text, or formatting, I should say, for the text. Typography is what language looks like. Perfect. And now here, actually, I feel like this should be bolded. And tell me, chat, is there some colors that you would like to see with this poster? Going to do the same for the remaining of paragraph, like sorry, not the paragraph, but the copy that we need to put in this poster. I want to make sure that this is aligned. We're seeing purple. Perfect. I mean, let's do, I think, look, purple would be super fun. And that's technically how we started. There you go. And I feel that, I mean, I love a good black background. So how about we do like a dark charcoal, like so. And then we put that text white. And then I think it could be fun to reuse what we have, the icons for the eyes that we have used to create that pattern, to be put elsewhere on that poster. Actually, I just realized that I'm missing Ellen Lupton, which is very important because that's who is mentioning this quote, and we want to give them the proper credit. Vuduval, I am living for this. Great. Well, I'm happy that you enjoy this challenge. I had a lot of fun creating this for sure. Okay, so now I want to make sure that these, just because it's dark, I'm going to just make sure it has a bit more contrast. But what we can do is actually change that black part to be purple as well. And I think if we have the eyes right here, it looks good. So let me just do view and trim view. This is when you can actually check out without like that full mess around your artboard. And this is what the poster looks like. So basically we did a poster that looks very elevated and very fun within 25 minutes, which is crazy. So as you can see, there's 2 files in the link that is provided to you. There's one that has nothing, that only has basically the quote, but there's also, if in case you are having a bit of trouble with creating those letters, then you just want to be practicing that pattern and symbol and applying that onto the letters. So you also have that accessible, and you also have access to this presentation as a way to get some inspiration and have fun with colors, because colors are so fun. Actually, I think that this one here, I love a good orange and pink combination. It is life for me. So yeah, have fun with it and explore. And I can't wait to see what you will be creating and dropping it in Discord, because that's another thing. You can download your files onto Discord, and then you can have some feedback from our community. How fun is this? So on that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week with another poster challenge with a quote from a female designer. Thank you so much, and stay tuned because there's a lot next.